Are your thoughts always racing? Do you ask yourself the same questions constantly? Or contemplate making the same decisions without actually doing anything? Then you need to watch this video because I'm going to show you how to stop overthinking and take action. Howdy, my name is Liam and I've struggled with overthinking for years. A combination of low confidence and overthinking has held me back in multiple ways in my life. But in the last year, I've ran 2 half marathons, a full marathon, gained a promotion at work, started this YouTube channel, and started a newsletter. I would never have achieved any of these things without discovering some of these key truths and effective actions that I'll share with you today. So if you want to break the cycle of overthinking, then keep watching. First, let's cover why we overthink things. Before we can solve the issue of overthinking, we need to understand what it is that's causing us to feel and act this way. There can be a number of reasons, but the most common symptoms and triggers I've experienced and studied include anxiety. This was a big one for me. I knew I was anxious, and specifically I was worried and afraid of spending my time on something that would be a dead-end endeavor. Anxiety is a fear of a future threat, which can include the fear of failure, fear of creating or arriving at the wrong outcome. Anxiety preys on our fear and uncertainty. We can't read the future, and that scares us so much it causes us to freeze in our tracks, unable to move forward. Doubt. We feel that we're not skilled enough or don't know enough or fear that it won't work out in the end. We doubt ourselves, our vision of the future, the path we take, the choices we make, the process, and so on. We don't believe things will work out, so we never start. We never get started because we don't believe. But the problem is, most things that move us forward in life have an element of uncertainty in them, and you need a little bit of faith and belief. My biggest doubt has always been my decision making. Am I making the right decision? Is this the right way? Is this the right thing to be doing? I've had plenty of doubts while making this video. Too much. Simply too much, and there can be too much in a number of ways. We have so much information and stimuli coming in that we simply can't process it all. There's information that conflicts with each other, different viewpoints, different data, and we simply can't take it all in and fully digest it. We might have too many options. The classic choice paralysis. When we have too many options, then how do we know which one to take? Especially when they all look like good options. Which is the best? Having too much can be more of a hindrance than having too little. No sense of urgency. We have no reason to act now instead of later. There's no pressure from inaction, so when faced with all the anxiety and doubt, we choose not to act. There's no perception of a real threat or loss. The cost of inaction is seen as a lesser loss than taking action and things not working out. Why would we expose ourselves to more loss when the alternative is a lesser loss? The problem is you lose either way, but the lesser loss teaches you nothing and probably leaves you with a sense of regret later down the road. Which is it for you? So before we can fix things, it's best to identify which of these areas is most relevant to you. Because if you can figure out what the problem actually is, then that's 50% of the problem solved. So ask yourself this question. What was the most common feeling, situation, or trigger between all the scenarios when I'm overthinking? That will be the root of your problem. Now, before we get into tackling the problem, it's important to realize when we're overthinking versus being thorough, checking for correctness, and making sure we spend an appropriate amount of time on a decision that needs it. Doubt versus fact-checking. There's a clear difference between doubt and fact-checking. For example, if you find yourself checking yourself against other people's opinions, then you're overthinking it. If you're checking your information against other data and studies, then that's fine. Ensuring accuracy and correctness is important, but don't mix that up with measuring your own ideas against someone else's point of view, especially if they don't have any data to back it up. Past experience. If you're grappling with a problem, project, or task and have success in a previous experience relating to that task, then trust in that past experience. Our lived-in experience is more of a true indicator of what will and won't work than most external information that we have at hand. This probably won't be true for everything until the end of time, but until there's evidence that something stops working or is becoming obsolete, then trust in that past experience. Apples to oranges. For example, if you're comparing data information but you're not comparing like for like, then you're definitely overthinking it. Analyze what you're pulling and contrasting with each other. If it's not closely related, then you're probably expanding the scope of things too much. You might be self-sabotaging by purposely trying to find flaws in unrelated matters. instead of analysing the information and data you present objectively. How to overcome anxiety, fear, and doubt. Now we know what causes overthinking, and if we're overthinking or not, let's discuss how we tackle these issues. Have a proven track record. In my experience, the best way to build trust in yourself and to remove all anxiety and doubt is to have a proven track record of success. Your experience and success lays the foundation for the road ahead. If you have undeniable proof that something has worked once, it's most likely that it'll work again. Now, if you don't have the best record, a series of bad events, a bunch of failed projects, then that's fine because you have one other thing that can help. Wisdom. Because wisdom is knowing what not to do and what doesn't work. Learning from past mistakes and experiences is often more valuable than the victories. Memento mori. Everyone dies. We all meet our end someday, unless you're Brian Johnson. Eventually, our time is up. A bit of a morbid concept to live by, but a powerful one when you realise it's either take the chance now or risk running out of time. Anthony Hopkins has a brilliant quote. We are dying from overthinking. We are slowly killing ourselves by thinking about everything. Think, think, think. You can never trust the human mind anyway. It's a death trap. He's right. Through overthinking, we're essentially speeding up the process by giving away more and more time. We don't know how much time we have, so better to tackle our doubts and fears head on with action than to be paralysed by it. You cannot control the outcome. Whether you're building a new business, competing in a race, starting a new project at work, or something else, the moment you realise you cannot control the outcome of these things, the better off you'll be. You cannot guarantee the business will succeed. You don't know if you'll win the race, and you can't promise the work project will be done on time. Once you realise you cannot control the outcome and that the only thing you truly can control is the input, then the better off you'll be. We cannot control the future. Life is too unpredictable, life too chaotic for it to even be possible. Instead, if we focus on what we can control in the present with our current actions now, we drastically decrease the effect of anxiety. How to take action with confidence and consistency. I'm going to share with you now my framework for beating overthinking. This is a framework of truths and actions that I built that help me conquer my overthinking problem and make progress each and every day. You only know what you know now. There's a point where more information and data gathering becomes pointless. There's diminishing returns for absorbing more and more information. And having more and more data becomes unwieldy, irrelevant, and distracting. At some point, you'll have to take the first step. So better to step forward with the knowledge you have now and learn from the experience along the way. You'll find new information and quickly discover if anything you have with you is irrelevant or incorrect. The best way to learn is through experience, so take what you have now and go forward with it. Test it, learn, and adapt. Accept you will get things wrong. It's inevitable, especially when tackling something new or trying something different. You're going to make mistakes, and that's fine. Does any human learn to walk without falling over? Why hold ourselves hostage to perfection when making mistakes is the best way we can learn? Some of the greatest thinkers and scientists have made mistakes and been proven wrong. Act with best intentions and accept that mistakes are normal. The only true failure is a failure to learn from our mistakes. Commit to an output. I set a target to deliver one newsletter and one YouTube video every week. I can't control how well these pieces do, but I can control whether I send them out or not. Rather than focusing on external metrics of success, which I can't control, video views, email signups, etc., I focus on an output metric. Did I publish one video and one newsletter? I show up, I put in the reps, I commit to that level of output. Knowing that if I put in the work, then over time, coupled with analysing and adjusting things along the way, I will see returns. Treat life as an experiment. The scientific method is a practice used since the 17th century to help us solve some of the most difficult problems and better understand the world around us. The process can be broken down into 5 simple steps. Make an observation. Ask a question. Generate a hypothesis. Test it and measure the results. Draw a conclusion and share. This illustration, borrowed by thoughtcode.com, is a great visual example in practice. If we treat the different things we do in life as experiments, then we only stand to gain from each experiment. Every experiment tells us something about our assumptions, teaches us something new, and gives us quantitative data to make better choices. If we approach life with a curious mind and experiment, we can remove the emotional constraint that holds us back from taking action. Embracing these ideas and executing on these actions will help you stop overthinking. They definitely helped me. And if coupled with this daily habit I talk in this next video, will supercharge the effects of both.